this is Kristin Brindley, publisher of DC Metro Real Producers, and I'm here with the wonderful Michelle and Rob of Protec. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure.
Absolutely. These guys are, they were our May Partner Spotlight, and they are valued partners of DC Metro Real Producers. And this company is quite amazing. They've been around for over 30 years. They have a nice sized team, like over 35 people, I believe, with a 48-hour guarantee on scheduling right now. And they have their own coaching empire. So it's inspectors. What is it? Inspector. I'm going to have to do that for IEB, Inspector Empire Builders.
Yes.
They have their own coaching program as well, Inspector Empire Builders, IEB. So it's an honor to have these guys on, and we're proud to have them as part of DC Metro Real Producers. And, you know, if you all could tell us, because I love your business acumen, your mindset, could you tell us the origin story of Protec and just take us through step by step, like how did this happen?
Well, I started home inspections like 30-something years ago, 1986. So I'm older than most people listening to this probably. But I was doing okay, and I always thought if you do a great job, business will come in, and that worked pretty well for a while. And then all of a sudden, the collapse of the real estate market in 2008 hit, and our business, like everybody else's, tanked. And so we got a business coach at that point. And that business coach helped us to grow our business tremendously. In fact, we grew our business between 25 and 50% every year for the next 10 years. And that was pretty cool. It allowed us to go from about $100,000 a year to this year, I think we were well over $3 million in revenue. So and
that's amazing.
It served us really, really well. And we've been coach in the coaching world for the last 6-7 years, I would say, doing coaching for various programs. And about 2 years ago, we started our own coaching program with some friends in Houston. It's called IEB, Inspector Empire Builders, and that has allowed us to grow even more and more and faster. And we use the power of mindset really to do that growth. It's not anything to do with a home inspection per se. It's all about changing your mind and changing what you can do. And that's really helped lately because, hey, you know what? March came and everything kind of took a dive, and if you didn't have the right mindset, you were really stuck. But our business, like everybody's, took a little bit of a dent, but we're bouncing back. We've got some new things going, and we're getting right back to normal almost.
You know, could you speak to what you've done to pivot and how you protect your mindset? I feel like that's super valuable for everyone listening. Like, how do you protect your mindset, and what have you done to, you know, pivot in this interesting time?
I know, like you, Kristin, we're really big on miracle mornings. You know, both Rob and I get up. Rob used to not be a morning person.
Oh, I hate mornings.
He was so angry when he read that book, and I think it was like, he was like, on page 17. He still remembers the page. It was like, you know, if you're not going to get up early tomorrow morning, don't keep reading. And he was like,
I want to read the book. What do you mean I can't read anymore?
But he has done great. You know, his early is 6, where, you know, a lot of people's early is more like 4, but for him, that is really early. But we do get up early. We practice reading every day, you know, something, either mindset or growth within our company, or a business book, something that'll help us to grow as a person. We both work on meditation, or, you know, I'm really big into yoga. I also do that 4 days a week. So we're just...
You have to constantly be feeding your mind with positive messages. I can do this. What am I trying to get better at? What do I want to do tomorrow? What good things happened to me today? Now, don't focus on the negative. There's plenty of negative out there. You just can't focus on it. You've got to look to the positive all the time. Focus. Everybody has positive things happening to them every day. Heck, you woke up, you got out of bed, didn't you? That's a positive. That doesn't happen for everyone.
Right.
So you know, you have to look at the positive and focus on that. What good things happen to to you today. And we, even with this downturn and people struggling to get business, there's a lot to be thankful for. Hey, we still have a business. We still have income coming in, albeit not as much as it was. We still have relationships with a lot of people. We can still feed a lot of families through our business that, you know, when a lot of other businesses had to shut down. So there's a lot to really be thankful for. And if you focus on that all the time, the world's a happy place.
I love everything you just said. And I heard on the Peloton bike actually yesterday, other people would pay for your problems, probably, right? I was like, oh my goodness. And I thank you for everything you just said. I really appreciate everything you just shared with the audience very much. So can you tell us, you know, what you're doing right now in the pivot with you know, virtual and taking care of clients and doing such, you know, doing so in such a safe way and still getting so much business done? Because I know you guys are still doing a lot of business. So
yeah. So we have altered things. You know, we've customized our inspections to fit our inspectors' comfort levels. We have some guys that still aren't inspecting because they have one of our top inspectors has a 1-year-old at home and his wife is pregnant. So he just doesn't feel comfortable inspecting. So, you know, we are doing what we have to so that we have our guys there that are available for everybody. So some of our guys are meeting people and it's business as usual. And some of our guys are meeting people at the end, masked and doing a recap. And some of our guys are comfortable doing the inspection, but not having anybody there.
And some of our guys aren't comfortable being out at all. So we have a report in development that we'd like to switch to. So we have them working on that.
And training videos and informational videos to put out on Facebook. But for the guys that don't want anybody there, they're doing a virtual inspection in the way that we call it the Protec red zone. So at the beginning of the inspection, they'll flip on their video.
Wait a minute, back up. Do you guys all know what the red zone is?
Everybody
You've seen that?
Go ahead and tell them. Yeah.
They show the touchdowns. They don't show all the nonsense that led up to it.
You don't see every play. You just see the big important ones. So, you know, they'll introduce themselves on a quick little video at the beginning of the inspection. And then maybe as they're walking around the outside, they may see like a missing rain cap on the chimney. So they'll take a quick video of that so people understand what they mean. And so they'll take 3 or 4 short videos and then a recap at the end. And then now the agent and the client have their contact information. So once they get the report, if they have questions, they can easily get in touch with the inspector.
Because you can imagine there's a lot of anxiety associated with people buying a house. Maybe they got to walk in at one time. Sometimes they're even doing it virtually. They've only had very little time in the house. They haven't met the inspector. Everything is kind of up in the air as to how everything is going to work. They don't really know. So there's a lot of anxiety there, and they're very interested in finding out all that they can in that short period of time. And so we're trying to accommodate them as best we possibly can and keep everyone safe.
Right. I can so appreciate that. It sounds like you're really focused on that customer journey, even in all the scariness and the uncertainty pieces that they're feeling, and trying to accommodate how they're feeling and how you're running your business. I love it.
We didn't think of it all by ourselves. That's where our coaching program came in. When this thing first happened, and I encourage anybody that doesn't have a coach, get a coach, get a group that you can sit down with that have similar interests. And we sat down with 8 or 9 people that are large companies throughout the country. And we said, all right, this is coming. What do you guys think you're going to do? What should we do? Let's compare notes and see what we can all do. And so we figured it out together. You get 8 or 10 really great minds together. They're going to figure out stuff that one person can't possibly think of.
You're sourcing the collective wisdom of a group. And
Exactly.
yeah, I'm truly enjoying our interview, by the way. Thank you for, thank you for your time today. So what has been for you, because you have a team and a mindset about your team, what's been most rewarding in this business for you?
I would say for me, it is getting to help so many people develop a career and to be able to provide for their families. We've hired, I know our company's kind of known for having a young team, and our guys, all of them have been able to buy houses within 2 years of becoming home inspectors. And so, you know, it's just so wonderful to see them purchasing homes for themselves. And so, you know, we have some core beliefs in our company, and one of them is that we believe everyone deserves a home. And it's so nice that we're not only providing that service for our clients, but it's also our team members that are getting to be in on that too.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that if we can help one or two people, and they help one or two other people, and those people help one or two other people, it's a domino effect. And it actually happened in our own family. I was quite surprised about this. For years, I would ask my son, who's 25 now, and he works as an inspector for us. In fact, he's a team leader for us. I said, Brad, would you like to be an inspector someday? When he was, you know, a teenager, and he goes, no, Dad, you work way too hard. I don't want any part of this. Well, the more success we had, and the more we learned how to build a great business and have a really strong business model, the more our entire family got involved and wanted to learn about business and wanted to learn about how they could succeed in business. And they've gone off to college. They've done their own thing. Many of them have come back to work for us. But the beauty of it is they see the possibilities and how anyone can be successful, and you're not beholding, you know, years ago, everybody, I hope I get to go work at IBM or something, and maybe someday I can be a manager and retire and get a pension. Well, those days are gone. Let's face it. That's not ever going to happen again. You have to be able to stand up on your own 2 feet and figure things out yourself. And our family's been able to do that, and our extended family's been able to do that. And we're actually seeing a lot of success with other people in our office. You guys, many people have met Lexi. She will do great things in her life.
I would agree with that. I think she's amazing. I've met a lot of your team members, and they all have great mindset and growth oriented, awesome people. For you, what I would love to ask, like, what has been most challenging for you in the business? Like, what's been the biggest challenge, do you think?
Ooh, biggest challenge.
The biggest challenge is learning to deal with people on a regular basis and manage people. I always knew I had a mechanical aptitude. Figuring out how to do a home inspection was not terribly difficult. Being able to do that at a very high level was not terribly difficult. You read more, you go to seminars, that's all there is to it. Anyone can do that. The challenging thing was, how do you bring a bunch of people in under your roof and get them all rowing in the same direction and working toward the same goal and motivated and happy to do so? And when things come up, and things always come up, how do you deal with that? And how do you help people with their own problems in a way that's going to benefit everyone? And that's been a challenge for years. Michelle and I when we first started growing, we bought every business book available and we read them cover to cover. And we're probably on our 3rd group through now. I've read several books multiple times, and there's something new in every one of them. And maybe you read a book that's 3/4 an inch thick, and there's a paragraph in there that might change your business forever. That's all you need.
Yeah, absolutely. Michelle, did you have anything you want to add to that? Or are you just 100% agreement? What do you?
Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement. You know, just the whole leadership aspect of it. And we've become experts at it now, but I can remember a while, not experts at leadership, just experts at a while ago, we had a hard time giving over control. You know, in the beginning, Rob one day went to work and he was like, you know what? I let my secretary go and I didn't work in the business at all. We were, you know, we'd only been married a couple years. And he said, today, you're the secretary. And I was like, I don't even know the phone number to our business. Like, and he was like, it'll be fine.
I'm closing the door going, you'll be great.
It'll be great.
And, you know, I embraced it, and and I did a great job scheduling because I cared whether our family ate or not, you know, and that was what the other person didn't have a commitment to that. And, but as our business grew and we needed me to do other things, it was really hard for me to let go answering the telephones.
And we see this all the time with people. They're like, well, no one can do it as good as I can. Well, you know what? You're absolutely right. But if they can do it 80% as well as you, that's a big win, because now you're freed up to do other things that are equally, if not more important.
And now the people that answer our phones, I know do it better than me, because I don't even remember how to answer it. You know, like I did schedule weekends through the COVID-19 thing because we had to cut back on staff. And so I was always having to like, bear with me now, you know, you know, so each job that I became an expert at, I gave, you know, I did the marketing, and then I gave that to Lexi. And so it's gotten easier. And so I think that was really hard for us in the past, and now it's not. But I know that for a lot of people in their business, it's a really catching point that they just can't hand over that control. And if you can't hand over that control, then you're never going to be able to grow. Yeah.
With everything you do, it has to be a I, a we, and a they.
I love this. And, you know, I don't know if everyone at this point watching knows that you've built such a strong business that, you know, until COVID, you were very like, you know, certain people were running lots of aspects, and you were able to step back a nice amount, you know, that amount of, you know, giving up control, but also, you know, still overseeing, like you're not abdicating, you're just delegating. Right. And, you know, do you have any advice for getting to that last step? Because I know a lot of the realtors listening, a lot of the other entrepreneurs listening, everybody runs a household, right? So any tips on that? Because I feel like you all have done an amazing job doing that.
I think up until about 2.5, 3 years ago, Rob and I were very, very involved in our business. And then we got the concept of, you know, Rob had every inspector reporting back to him. And, you know, when you have 16 guys, one person can't manage 16 guys. And so then we developed the concept of, okay, we have an inspector manager, but then that inspector manager was over 16 people. If Rob couldn't do it, how could somebody else? And so then we broke that into smaller teams. So then we had team leaders, and the team leaders each had 4 or 5 inspectors underneath them. And the inspector manager just had to oversee those team leaders and training. And then in growth, we had a growth manager. And so now we had that growth manager was in charge of the other people that were in the growth department. And then we had our operations. And so then Rob and I just had to have those managers report to us, and everybody else started reporting to the managers. And it wasn't an easy transition, because everybody, they still want to come to you. And it was hard to train them, like, you know.
And the same people that are really good at doing their job are not necessarily good managers. You know, just because somebody's good in one aspect of their life doesn't mean it's an easy transition, or even a possible transition over to do something else. You know, one person can really only manage 5 or 6 people maximum. You get beyond that, and it's just going to be chaos at some point. When things are going well, if everything's smooth, it seems like it's working. But as soon as stuff goes wrong, you can't manage it. And that's one of the mistakes I see a lot of realtors do that have big teams. They have a team, and they have a lot of people under them, but they manage their team of 14 realtors, and you can't do that. They're running all over the place. Fires are being started left and right. Nobody's putting it out. And if they are, everybody's doing it differently. And
it's reactionary, right?
It's killing their reputation. If you have it systematic, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And these people are going to be monitoring who's doing what. You can grow it infinitely. You could have 100 realtors under you. It doesn't matter how many, because you're going to have the appropriate number of team leaders and whatever you want to call them underneath each of them.
I have a feeling you guys have studied some leadership. What were you going to say, Michelle?
I think another mistake that we made while we were trying to grow our leadership team was we would meet somebody that was promising, and we would say, we have this hole in our organizational chart. Let's hire them for that position. And that was a mistake on our part because we needed to hire them into our business and let them prove that they were worthy of that position before we gave them that position. And we've made that mistake several times. And we, you know, you learn from your mistakes and then you grow and you correct. You know, somebody had told me one time, and I like the analogy, is that, you know, if you're flying a plane is only on course about 3% of the time. It's always drifting off, and then they correct, and then it drifts off and they correct. And so I think that that's what we've done a lot. We're really good at correcting.
Yeah, well, you figure out a problem, you solve it, you continue, you just keep doing that. Like you guys.
Keep learning.
Well, things don't always go right. We have 15, 16 inspectors. They're going to screw up from time to time. Pretty much somebody's going to be messing up on a daily basis. So the question is, when that screw up happens, what are you going to do about it? How are we going to fix it? And that's what we have put systems and people in place, and every mistake is an opportunity to learn from that, and everybody will be better as a result, and hopefully the mistakes will be less frequent and more minor. And you know what? It's so far so good.
I love it. I love it. And Ian, I love the point he just made, but because of I know how some of the stuff can be used, we probably won't use the mistakes one. So Ian, cut that one. Rob, I love you, and I love what you're doing for people. But we're gonna cut that just because I love you guys, and I don't want that out there.
I was like, oh, we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, no mistakes part, Ian. I'm putting my finger up. You got to take. All right. So the only part that I ask, I'm gonna pause because that gives him an. So can you tell us, Ian, you're going to take a second here. Every business has a secret weapon, something or someone, a habit they attribute a great deal of their success to. What do you guys feel like that is for you?
I think for us that it has been marketing. You know, we learned early on that marketing was if we can market and always have enough business. So we just keep hiring and bringing in that business. Before we didn't market at all. You know, we just thought somehow those jobs were going to magically appear at our doorstep.
Doing a good job, it will only get you so far. If no one knows about it, you can do the greatest job ever, and you won't have any more business as a result of that. Maybe a little bit more, but it's not going to really grow you where you want to go. So really, and we look at marketing as the tap. If we need more business, if we need more people, all we have to do is turn the dial, and we can grow. However, if we used to be afraid to hire inspectors because what if we can't get the business? Well, we know we can get the business. All we have to do is turn up the dial on the marketing if we want to grow our business.
No, that's I love it, because without sales, nothing happens, right? And the marketing provides so do you guys advertise in any way? I know you're big on referrals and you guys market. Do you guys advertise?
We do. We advertise in the DC Real Producers magazine, and that has been really good for us. You know, besides being in the magazine, you put on amazing events, and they have been such a great way for us to just get out and meet people face to face. And for us, it's all about personal connection. You know, I don't think it would be enough to just advertise in the magazine, but the magazine and the events in conjunction with each other, that's really big. And so we do that. We do a lot of social media. We visit offices. We do presentations. We do sales meetings. You know, I think that's kind of typical stuff. We do a lot of phone calls to our agents, phone calls to our clients. You know, I think one of the things our business is known for is its customer service. Even though we've grown, we continue to run it like a small family business. And so we really do a lot of hand holding.
Yeah, we understand that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So if we can, and they're not going to know, like, and trust you from a newspaper ad or a radio spot or something like that. It's one-on-one personal connections. I'm talking to you, you like me, we're going to do some business together. That's where what it's all about. And that's where your Real Producer magazine really is huge for us, because we get in front of a lot of really top producers, and that affords us the ability to have that conversation where maybe they were too busy otherwise.
Well, and you guys are perfect in the relationship platform. Like, you really care about relationships and that customer service piece. And I find that to be perfect in the relationship platform that we are. So we appreciate you. So tell us, so 1 to 5 years, I know we're in an interesting time right now. Like, what do you see? What are you working toward? What do you moving toward yourselves?
Well, in the future, there's a lot of new players coming into the home inspection business. A lot of big players. You're seeing it from large corporations.
A lot of private equity firms buying into the home inspection industry. Yeah. A lot of like insurance companies buying into the home inspection industry. A lot of really big players taking interest, buying up report formats or our scheduling platforms, or it's really interesting to see, why are these people all of a sudden drawn to the inspection industry? And
they're drawn to it because they understand the value of the data associated with the home inspection, or not really with the home inspection, with the real estate transaction. Mm-hmm. So they want any way they can get a hold of that data, and they're interested in acquiring that data. So a home inspection is just one of the ways that they can get to that data. And so that's what's drawing in the big players. Now, what will probably happen in the future is home inspections may become somewhat of a commodity. At that point, the price of a home inspection will go down. It won't matter to people who shows up so much. So we have to develop other revenue streams, other businesses related to the home inspection. We thought about starting a pool servicing company, a termite company. In fact, we already have that. A radon remediation company. Everything associated with and surrounding the real estate transaction, because that's what we know. And there's some synergy if we can do things that tie into that.
Absolutely. And then they still get the great customer service, and you still have and able to do what you're doing. I think that's great. So if you could give any advice to someone who's thinking about getting into the home inspection field, what advice would you give them? What would you tell them to do?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Somebody coming into the home inspection field.
I would tell them to call you maybe, but.
Go work for somebody else, because it is almost impossible for a new person coming into the field to generate any kind of following, because, hey, there's a lot of money on the line. An established realtor, and let's face it, established realtors are doing about 80% of the work. An established realtor is not going to risk their $20, $30, $50, $60,000 commission on somebody that they don't know, when they're not a known commodity. They're going to go with people that have a track record, that have a history. So if somebody wants to do it and do it well, they really need to go work for one of the bigger companies in the field, so that they can get trained properly and learn exactly what to do without making super expensive and critical mistakes.
And the training part is big. We have so many, often people will come and they'll say, I've taken the home inspection course and I've got my license, and they think that they can do a home inspection. But that course, it's like scratches the surface of the knowledge that they need. There's so many other things that they need to learn.
It's like the realtor 2-week course.
You just don't know enough to do it on your own.
Maybe fill out a contract, but you don't really know how to do it.
And a realtor at least would have their broker, but for a home inspector to not have any support, like that's scary for them.
They need that support.
And we coach our guys, like, you have to learn, like, what do you say when you see this? What do you not say when you see this? You have to learn to walk and talk and report at the same time. Like there's a lot to learn besides just sitting in the classroom and learning some of that information.
And it looks really, really easy. I can't even count the number of people that over the years have said, wow, that really looks like fun. How do I get into that? You know, all you did was walk around, took a few notes and talked. That's pretty good. I want to get into that business, but it's really hard to know everything, know what to say about everything, know what to write about everything, know which pictures to take and be able to back it up.
We really script our inspections. So to make sure that our guys say the right thing and not the wrong thing. And sometimes just to give them something to say because they feel that everybody's looking at them and they want to start talking, but they might not have anything knowledgeable to say at this point in time. So that we don't want them stepping in it. So we have scripts, like there's an opening script, there's a script on the outside, there's a script at the furnace and a script at the electrical panel, so that we know that they're covering what they need to cover. They're saying it the way that it should be said. And
we learned that. I learned that by accident. I had one of my guys, my nephew, he was our first inspector. By the way, I hired my first inspector 19 times, so he wasn't.
Our first inspector.
We got to this point by trial and error, but the first one that stayed. So he was my assistant for more than a year. And he was well trained. He could do everything, but no one would take him. He had a license. He could do a full inspection, but they always wanted me. And so finally, one day I couldn't be there. I had another event I had to be at. And so I said, look, Jeff will get started. He'll do a great job for you. I'll come by towards the end just to make sure everything went well. And if you have any questions, I'll be able to handle that. So I come walking up about an hour into the inspection, and it's a little townhouse, and the realtor sees me coming, and he comes running out of his house, and he's waving his arms like this. And I'm going, oh no. and he comes running up and he goes, Rob, it's incredible. It's like a mini Rob in there. He said this. He did exactly what you did. He told the same stupid jokes. You can go.
That's awesome.
That's the secret sauce.
So
you got lots of training.
And it's exactly what McDonald's does. You know,
it's not the greatest.
It's not going to be the greatest food ever. But it's you know
get.
exactly what you're going to get, and you get the same thing every time. Now a little bit better.
We always aim for not quite Ruth Chris and not McDonald's. Like we want to be better than that, you know. And so I always
here I want to be Coastal Flats. They always serve good food.
I like Coastal Flats.
Yeah, and so we want to. Everybody knows what they're going to get when they go there, and that's what we want our clients to know.
Everybody has a little bit different personality, but the basic of, when there's a problem at the electric panel, an agent doesn't have to cringe wondering
what's he going to
say. They know what he's going to say. He's going to say the same thing the last guy said. And so that brings a level of comfort.
Yeah. So in the end, it doesn't matter who shows up because you're going to get the same service no matter what.
Yeah, the quality service you guys do. Well, is there anything else you would like to impart to our real producers as well?
I can't think of anything else. Do you?
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. We're in contact with real producers, clients all over the country. And, some of them have had great experiences and some of them haven't. But we always say, if you get somebody that really knows how to work it, that knows how to run an event properly, it'll go great. And then we give you as the example of somebody that really, really knows what they're doing. So you just knock it out of the park every single time. And I know how much work it is to put on an event. And it's a tremendous amount of work. You obviously put a huge effort into it. It's a passion for you, and it shows.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. It's a true honor to have you all as part of what we do. And, you heard it here at DC Metro Real Producers. Have a really good day, everybody. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.